family reunion. So I was thinking back, when I said yes, because I wasn't even at the reunion, but I kept feeling like I should say yes. It was awful. And I fought it. I felt like people in the congregation who'd wait and wait and wait. So then I called Katie and said, I'll do it. If you'll tell them I'll do it, I'll do it. But I expect help from my family, which they've done, so thank you. But then as we were going on, there were conference talks and things, and I kept thinking, so there was this comedian, and Emily and she sent it to me, and it's this, it's hilarious. I almost showed it. And it's this guy who's like, hey, he's single. He's like, yeah, I met this girl, and she was really cute. We were talking, want to go out. And he said, went on a couple dates, and then he's like, hey, here's Eileen. Yay!
Hey! Welcome.
So, in this,
so he's going to go out of town?
So he's going to go out of town. He says, I've got to go out of town. And she's like, me too. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Wyoming. This thing. She's like, me too. Okay, well maybe we get together while we're there. And so,
and he was going for a multi-generational
family reunion. And he said,
what are the chances?
What are the chances of meeting somebody you know there? And he went in, and she was there, and he was like, oh, hi.
It turned out I didn't like those odds.
He said, it's a lot of odds. So it's important to come to these things, because otherwise we could be standing next to people in a grocery line. And Dean came up and wanted to do the hand cartwheel. I did not know he was a cousin. Luckily, I was nice to him. Could have paid for it later, right now. I even looked at pictures and the slideshow to try to familiarize myself. I just, So I'm glad you're here, and I feel good about it. But part of it is, I wanted to do things that, and every year we kind of do something, or every time they get the flags one year and they get the banner. So this year, it's kind of the interactive family history moment. So this is our tree trunk, or our family tree. And we're not doing it like, oh, this is Maud and this is Jude. We're not doing that. This is just the tree. because it just, I'm not going to do that. It's just, I don't want that much of a test. But what we're going to do is there's these leaves, and we're going to help cut out the leaves. We're going to all write names, and I think I have to go to the library and get markers too. We're going to try to remember everybody in the whole family's names for all of the siblings. And for Aunt Fern, I've actually met her in Pittsburgh when we lived there. There was a reunion happening here, and we went and got together with them the same day so we could be having a nationwide reunion. But we're going to do that, so we're going to ask everybody to come up, write names. We're going to do your own families first, but we're going to try to make sure we have everybody on this tree. And then I want a picture with everybody. And that's what we're going to do first, while we're just kind of waiting. And then at about noon, we're going to do the tour. I have text out, and I would text to you too, the addresses. So, okay, Tammy did warn me. In the middle of the night, we're going to think of all these things.
Get some sleep.
Just get some sleep. Luckily, this didn't happen until 5. When I woke up and went, oh my gosh, that paper with all the addresses in my office. And I'm not driving over there now at 5. So I got up and looked it up and redid it and then sent it out to people so that we have where we're going. So, unbeknownst to me, I didn't actually realize that our family, the Martins, lived in Boise. And there's a story, and I'm going to have my dad share it about the hutch and the gun in the wall. The rabbit hutch, and those houses are here. Uncle Howard and Howard Jr., that's my grandmother, will be able to. They were born in Montpelier, Idaho, but then they moved. And the rest of the children were born here. And in the census, that's where I got the addresses. It has the address, and it shows where they were. So then I found the schools that they went to, the Washington downtown, and those are on there as well. So we're going to go afterwards, and we're just going to kind of drive, and I'm going to show you. And I did have, and yes?
Well, I think the most impressive part is I always heard that the boys always slept on the back porch. And I kept thinking, okay, back porch. But it's a back porch in Boise, Idaho in the wintertime. Yeah. They were out sleeping outside, and they just had a little rattan thing that would come down, and they were actually sleeping outside. That was their whole life. And the big improvement was when they got to Costello, the back porch was actually closed in. So I don't think there was heat then out there.
No, but they had a stove there.
But they didn't at least have to sleep out in the snow in the winter in Idaho. I was like, whoa.
It's a little more impressive.
That was very impressive. I was like, whew.
So I do have an experience. So I work downtown, and when I would go running. And my body didn't look like it, but I did run. I was training for a marathon. And I was running. I was in the bishopric. This was different. I was running, and I would run, and I would feel the Spirit, praying my life. And then I went to the bishopric, and I was running by Boise High School. I'd go to the YMCA that's right there, and then I'd run. And I would have these spiritual moments, and there was the street. When I would run on that street, I'd end up crying, but people thought I was just sweating because I sweat like I do. And I had these very spiritual moments. And I thought, boy, this must be really important to the Lord. What I'm feeling is important to the Lord. And whatever I'm praying about, so I'm going to remember this. So I had these experiences, and then my mom had looked up the addresses one time when she came, and we were talking about the first week here. It's been a minute. And so then I went to look for the houses, and I realized that it was in front of the rabbit hutch that I would feel the Spirit. Every time I would go running past there, that's when I would feel the Spirit. So apparently whatever I was praying about wasn't that connection to that house, which then made me start looking at more of this area and what it means to us, and the high schools and the schools that they were at. The great-grandmother was the state relief society president for the Valley, and that's when Howard W. Hunter was in the state. And it would cover the whole area, and you can tell some of these stories, but this is that. So Boise ended up being this legacy. I didn't know. I thought it was the place to get gas on your way from Seattle down to Utah. It ends up being wonderful, and I am grateful for what I live. All right, so there's my starting testing. And I am grateful I did it. Thank you for everybody being super happy. So, the leaves, you're going to get up. Try not to duplicate. So we're going to try to do your own camera first, and then we'll start working on it. But the goal is to have all of it, because then there's going to be a slideshow that we'll see that eventually we'll have almost too close. Yes? No, I don't. I just want to hear. At first we did like, oh my, oh, and then I went, I don't want to hear that. I just want the leaves. I always feel bad for Margaret. We like make her this nothing. She's an angel in heaven. She's here. So I want her to have leaves. We're all part of the family. So leaves everywhere. So if you guys would come up and help do that, I'm going to grab pens really quick.